Chosen one, there are moments in life when the air around you grows still, when the silence feels unfamiliar, when shadows cling to the edges of your path as if they recognize your name more intimately than they should. And deep within your spirit, you sense something stirring, an ache that does not belong to you, a weight that was never yours to carry, a whisper of unrest that tries to wrap itself around your peace. You have felt it in those unguarded hours, when your heart beat with a rhythm you could not explain, when your thoughts tangled themselves like branches in a storm, when your soul knew that someone, somewhere, had fixed their gaze on your glow with intentions not born of love. They wanted to reach for you with hands unclean, with motives unspoken, with envy soaking through their skin like cold rain. But even now, as their hidden sickness simmers beneath the mask they wear, you stand here, not trembling, not shrinking, but awakening into a strength they can neither touch nor interpret. For every time they tried to wound you, heaven was watching, and your spirit was learning how to rise even when the ground sought to pull you under. You must understand, beloved, that some people are not hurt by you. They are hurt by the way God favors you. The way your presence rearranges the atmosphere without effort, the way your survival bruises their pride, because they expected your fall to be final. There are hearts in this world that crack silently when they witness you standing tall. They do not speak it, they disguise it with laughter, with politeness, with soft words and wandering eyes. But behind the mask there is a sickness growing, a sickness birthed from jealousy, from comparison, from the quiet anger of knowing they cannot dim a light crafted by divine hands. They attack what they envy. They hide what they fear, and they pretend not to notice what shakes their spirit every time you walk into the room. But you, chosen one, were not brought into this life to bend under the weight of their hidden sickness. You were brought here to outgrow it, outshine it, and outlive every attempt they made to scatter stones across your sacred path. There is something deeply holy about you, something ancient woven into your being, an inheritance stitched into your breath, a calling pressed into your bones long before your mother held you. When you walk, the world shifts. When you speak, energy rearranges itself. When you decide to rise, even the shadows must retreat. And the ones who move against you feel this truth, even if they lack the courage to confess it. They know you carry a strength that does not belong to mortals. They know you are guided by a hand steadier than any storm that ever tested you. And that knowledge burns them from the inside out. They do not announce their sickness. They do not acknowledge their envy. They simply act from it, throwing stones with soft smiles, hoping you will never notice where the bruise came from. They hide in plain sight, thinking their quiet bitterness is invisible. But the spirit of a chosen one feels what the eyes cannot see. You have discerned their intentions even when their lips denied them. You have felt their energy even when their hands offered help. You have recognized their sickness even when they bowed their heads in false humility. Still, you did not crumble. You did not shrink. You did not break. You kept walking, kept breathing, kept rising into the fullness of who you were designed to be. And this rise, this steady, unstoppable ascent, has shaken the very soul of your attacker. They are sick not in body but in spirit, unable to understand how someone touched by so much struggle could still stand so boldly. They are sick with confusion, sick with resentment, sick with the disbelief that you survived what they never expected you to overcome. Every time life tried to bury you, you refused to remain covered. Every time grief soaked your days, you found a way to let the sun kiss your face again. Every time betrayal bent you, you learned how to straighten your spine and walk with an even deeper purpose. There is something in you that refuses to die, something sacred and stubborn and unbreakable. And it is this very force, this beautiful resilience, that drives your hidden attacker into a deeper sickness they cannot escape. You have to understand the depth of your own power. You have lived through storms that would have drowned the strongest of hearts. You have smiled through wounds that would have silenced others. You have walked through fire with grace in your eyes and purpose in your stride. And yet you still rise slowly, steadily, beautifully. Every rise of yours feels like an earthquake to the ones who wish to see you fall. They cannot comprehend how someone so often wounded still manages to glow with the softness of dawn. They cannot grasp how your heart remains tender even after being pierced. They cannot understand how your spirit survived the darkness without becoming dark itself. And because they cannot understand it, they fear it. They envy it. They are sickened by it. They hide their sickness behind gestures of politeness, behind half-hearted compliments, behind carefully measured silence. But their spirit gives them away. Envy always reveals itself. Hidden malice always drips through the cracks. Darkness cannot imitate light forever. You must not let their sickness become your burden. You must not let their bitterness take root in your soil. You must not shrink yourself to make space for those who lack the courage to heal. Let them hide behind their masks. Let them pretend they are whole while their spirit trembles. Let them speak softly while their heart beats with jealousy. Their sickness is theirs to carry, not yours. You were never meant to be the medicine for someone determined to remain wounded. You were never meant to contort yourself into shapes that make others comfortable. You were never meant to explain your purpose to those who refuse to understand their own. Rise above their silent attacks. Walk past their disguised intentions. Live in such a way that your joy becomes louder than their bitterness. For every secret arrow thrown at you, there is a divine shield raised in your defense. For every trap laid in your path, there is a heavenly hand redirecting your steps. For every whisper spoken to dim your name, there is a louder truth rising in your favor. Look at how far you have come despite everything that was meant to destroy you. Look at how your heart still hopes, how your spirit still believes, how your soul still sings even after long nights of loneliness. Look at the strength that has matured inside you like a tree rooted in ancient soil. You have been shaped by fire and yet you do not burn others. You have been shaped by storms and yet you carry calm in your chest. You have been shaped by heartbreak and yet you love without hesitation. These qualities, this depth, this grace, are what separate you from the ones who secretly attack you. They cannot understand a soul like yours because they have never done the work to heal their own. They live in tight spaces, while you live in wide open freedom. They cling to resentment while you let life flow through you. They hide behind masks while you walk with authenticity. And this authenticity is what makes you untouchable. The secret attacker who moves against you is drowning in the weight of their own envy. They are sick because they compare their life to yours without understanding your sacrifices. They are sick because they crave your blessings without knowing your pain. They are sick because they want your glow without enduring your nights of darkness. They are sick because they want what you carry but lack the discipline to cultivate it within themselves. Their sickness is a mirror of their unhealed wounds. And instead of facing those wounds, they choose to project them onto you. But their projection cannot rewrite your destiny. Their bitterness cannot block your blessings. Their hidden attacks cannot pierce what heaven has reinforced. You are covered in ways they cannot comprehend. You are protected in dimensions their eyes cannot perceive. You are chosen in a manner that makes their sickness inevitable, because your light demands either admiration or insecurity, and they chose insecurity. So walk on, chosen one. Walk with the quiet confidence of someone who has survived too much to be shaken by the fragile bitterness of another soul. Walk with the grace of someone who knows divine justice is never delayed. Walk with the authority of someone who understands that no hidden sickness, no secret attacker, can touch the destiny carved for you long before you took your first breath. Walk as though you carry the strength of every ancestor who ever prayed for your rise. Walk as though heaven adjusts itself when you move. Walk as though no weapon formed in darkness could ever pierce the shield of light wrapped around your life. And as you walk, remember this: the one who attacks you in secret is already falling apart in silence. Their sickness deepens every time you rise. Their illusions crack every time you breathe with purpose. Their envy bruises them every time you choose joy. And they cannot stop this unraveling, because it was never you who harmed them. It was their own heart breaking under the weight of who you are becoming. So stand tall, lift your chin, strengthen your spine, let your spirit expand into every space that once felt too small for your dreams. The world has tried to break you, but you, chosen one, are unbreakable. The shadows tried to claim you, but you belong to the light. And no amount of sickness hidden in the heart of another can silence the rise that was written for you. Your attacker hides, but you do not. Your attacker trembles, but you advance. Your attacker falls apart, but you flourish. And this flourishing, this radiant, undeniable flourishing, is your inheritance, your destiny, your divine response to every secret attack ever sent your way. Keep rising, keep shining, keep becoming. The sickness of another cannot dim the soul protected by heaven. Chosen one, there comes a moment when your spirit begins to understand that not every battle is meant to be fought. Not every wound is meant to be acknowledged. Not every enemy deserves to be named. Some battles are beneath you, some wounds heal without explanation, and some enemies crumble without ever standing in your presence. The one who secretly attacked you, the one who hid their sickness behind borrowed smiles and artificial kindness, has already begun to feel the weight of their own intentions pressing hard against their spirit. You do not have to lift a finger. You do not have to retaliate. You do not have to descend to the level where their bitterness thrives. Your rise alone is the answer. Your glow alone is the correction. Your strength alone is the judgment. And this is why their sickness deepens. Because the light you carry is a truth they cannot escape, a truth that exposes their shadows even without your awareness. Their mask cracks every time your soul breathes freely, every time your joy refuses to die, every time your hope stretches its wings again. You must know this. Your existence challenges the darkness inside those who have not yet learned how to love themselves. They see your resilience, and it reminds them of the strength they abandoned. They see your peace, and it reminds them of the storms they never learned to anchor. They see your courage, and it reminds them of the fears they still hold close. And instead of turning inward, instead of healing, they turn their eyes toward you with quiet resentment, hoping that if they bruise your spirit, their own pain will ease. But wounds inflicted on the innocent have a way of returning to the sender. Every intention, every whisper, every silent arrow finds its home. Not because you demanded vengeance, but because the universe listens to the heart and responds accordingly. While you rise, their soul murmurs with unrest. While you heal, their sickness festers. While you step into your purpose, they stumble over the weight of their own unspoken jealousy. Still you walk with grace. Still you breathe with gentleness. Still you forgive in ways that confuse even the angels watching over you. For you were never made to mirror the darkness that opposes you. You were shaped to remain soft in a world that tried to harden you. You were shaped to remain kind in a world that tested your patience. You were shaped to remain whole in a world that thrives on brokenness. And this softness, this unshakable softness, is your strength, not your weakness. The secret attacker believed that harming your heart would shatter your spirit. They believed that if they poisoned your name in rooms you never entered, your path would narrow. They believed that if they planted seeds of doubt, your confidence would fade. But you have something they never accounted for: the quiet, relentless power of divine protection. Doors opened for you that they never saw. Blessings reached you that they never expected. Healing found you even when you weren't looking. And every blessing you received deepened the sickness they hid behind their mask. Yet you must remain compassionate, not because they deserve your compassion, but because compassion keeps your spirit light. You must remain forgiving, not because they earned your forgiveness, but because forgiveness loosens the chains that bitterness tries to anchor around your heart. You must remain focused, not because distractions aren't tempting, but because your destiny requires all of you. Your strength, your clarity, your purity, your resilience. You must remain elevated, for the places you are going cannot be reached by those who operate from envy. The destiny written with your name is too expansive for small-minded attacks to hinder. The calling resting on your shoulders is too sacred for shadows to intercept. The light inside you is too ancient to be dimmed by temporary darkness. There is a season approaching, soft, radiant, undeniable, where your rise will become so visible, so beautifully undeniable, that even the ones who wished for your downfall will feel compelled to look upward. They will watch you flourish in ways they never imagined. They will witness opportunities that were meant for you unfold like flowers in the spring. They will see doors swing open that were once tightly shut. They will watch your name be carried into places they never expected you to reach. And this witnessing will not be optional for them. It will be part of their awakening. For sometimes the downfall of an attacker is not marked by destruction. It is marked by revelation. When they finally see that the one they tried to break only became stronger, only became wiser, only became brighter. Their sickness begins to dissolve under the pressure of truth. And truth has a way of setting you free while confronting those who stood against you. The truth is that you were always destined to rise. The truth is that no hidden attack could rewrite the divine script written for your life. The truth is that you were never alone, not for a single step of your journey. When you cried in silence, heaven listened. When you doubted yourself, divine strength wrapped around you. When you felt weak, a deeper power stirred within. And this truth, this unmovable, undeniable truth, is what sustains you in moments when shadows linger too closely. You are not held by the hands of those who envy you. You are held by the one who created you, shaped you, molded you, and prepared you for every room you will enter. There is something remarkable that happens when a chosen one realizes their worth, not from validation, not from applause, but from alignment with their purpose. You begin to see that the attacks were never really about you. They were about the threat you represented to those unwilling to face themselves. You begin to see that the jealousy was never proof of your weakness, but evidence of your influence. You begin to see that every attempt to silence you was confirmation that your voice carries power. And once you see this, truly see it, nothing can shake your foundation again. For clarity builds confidence, and confidence dissolves fear. Chosen one, the journey ahead of you is vast, golden, and stretching farther than your eyes can perceive. But you will walk it with steady feet. You will walk it with a healed heart. You will walk it with a renewed spirit. And as you walk, the ones who attacked you will fall away like dried leaves, unable to cling to the branches of your becoming. You will no longer feel the sting of their envy. You will no longer feel the pressure of their resentment. You will no longer sense their shadows tugging at your destiny. For the light ahead of you is too powerful, too consuming, too divine for darkness to accompany. So keep rising. Rise with the fire of someone who has survived the unimaginable. Rise with the grace of someone who knows their worth. Rise with the calm of someone who trusts the timing of the universe. Rise with the power of someone chosen, protected, and destined. For the sickness of your attacker cannot pierce a soul that has been refined by both pain and purpose. And though they hid their intentions behind a fragile mask, your spirit saw through it, endured it, and outlived it. You are the living testimony of what happens when a soul refuses to surrender, when a heart chooses hope over fear, when a spirit stands tall even under the weight of secrecy and shadows. You are proof that divine justice does not require witnesses, that protection does not require explanation, that purpose does not require permission. And now, as you continue to rise, the world will see what heaven has always known. You were destined not only to survive the attack, but to transform because of it. Rise, chosen one. Your story is far from over. Your strength is only beginning to unfold. Your destiny is calling your name with a voice that echoes through every season. And nothing hidden, nothing sick, nothing disguised can silence the rise that belongs to you. Chosen one, there is a sacred turning happening within you now. A quiet and powerful shift that cannot be undone by the whispers of those who once aimed their shadows at your spirit. You are stepping into a season where the weight of every hidden attack begins to fall away like dust shaken from garments after a long journey. And as the dust settles, your true form emerges, steadier than before, taller than before, illuminated by a wisdom you earned through every moment of endurance. You do not rise because life has been gentle. You rise because your soul remembers how to heal even when the world forgets how to be kind. You rise because something ancient within you refuses to bow to darkness. You rise because every attempt to break you only revealed how deeply you were rooted in something greater than fear. And while you rise, the one who attacked you in secret continues to shrink beneath the consequences of their own intentions. They cannot understand why their efforts failed, why their sickness has grown heavier while your light has grown brighter. They expected your spirit to crack under pressure, but instead you became stronger. They expected your heart to weaken, but instead your compassion deepened. They expected your path to narrow, but instead new doors began to open for you with a kind of ease they could never manufacture. Their sickness, born from their envy and fueled by their insecurity, is now something they cannot hide from themselves. It gnaws at them in silence, reminding them of every moment they tried to wound a soul that was protected from the beginning. But your journey is not about their downfall. It is about your ascension. And ascension requires release. Release of what harmed you, release of what confused you, release of what tried to cling to your spirit like vines seeking to suffocate a blossoming tree. You were made to grow upward toward light, toward purpose, toward peace. Every day now you step farther away from the echo of their intentions. You step into a clarity that wraps itself around your mind like warm sunlight. You step into a strength that whispers through your bones, reminding you that your survival was never accidental. You were shaped for this rise. You were molded for this breakthrough. You were prepared, even when you did not realize preparation was happening. And as this strength expands inside you, you begin to understand that the quiet suffering you endured was not in vain. It taught you how to recognize energy without needing words, how to see truth without needing confession, how to trust your intuition even when others called it sensitivity. What they tried to use against you has now become the very thing that empowers you. Your discernment has sharpened. Your heart has softened in the right places and fortified in the right places. You no longer mistake proximity for loyalty or kindness for purity. You no longer cling to those who secretly wish you dimmed. You no longer shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You have learned how to walk away without bitterness and rise without explanation. You have learned that the secret sickness in your attacker was never a reflection of your worth, but a reflection of their unhealed wounds. And you must never allow their wounds to become your identity. You must never allow their shadow to become your story. You must never allow their weakness to redefine your strength. Continue forward with the graceful defiance that has carried you this far. The defiance of choosing peace over retaliation, growth over resentment, purpose over distraction. Your life is bending toward a future they cannot access, not because you are distant, but because they chose not to rise with you. They anchored themselves in jealousy while you anchored yourself in destiny. And destiny, chosen one, is beginning to unfold in ways you can feel even before you see them. Something in your heart feels lighter. Something in your mind feels clearer. Something in your spirit feels ready. As if the universe has been gently rearranging everything around you to prepare a place for your next season. You may not have all the answers, but you have alignment. You may not see the full path, but you feel the direction. And this feeling, this inner knowing, is worth trusting. It is the divine whisper that has been guiding you long before the attacks ever began. It is the compass inside your soul that remains unshaken by the storms around you. Walk forward, chosen one, with the confidence of someone who understands the truth at last. You were never fighting an enemy who could defeat you. You were simply walking through a lesson that would awaken the fullness of your own power. Their sickness was loud, but your healing is louder. Their bitterness was deep, but your purpose is deeper. Their secrecy was persistent, but your rise is unstoppable. Keep moving, keep breathing, keep expanding into the person you were always meant to become. The shadows behind you no longer hold any power. The light ahead of you has already won, chosen one. There is a quiet miracle happening within you each time you choose not to collapse under the weight that was meant to crush you. There is a quiet miracle unfolding every time you choose grace over bitterness, every time you breathe instead of break, every time you rise instead of retreat. And though the world has not always been gentle, though the shadows have pressed close, though the secret attacker believed their hidden hands could shape your destiny, you have proven that your spirit carries a strength they never anticipated. You have shown that a soul protected by purpose cannot be undone by whispers, cannot be dismantled by jealousy, cannot be destabilized by intentions clothed in secrecy. Even now, as your path widens and your spirit expands, the echoes of their attempts fall farther behind you, dissolving like smoke in the presence of wind. And yet, while you step into this new clarity, their sickness deepens, not because you sought their downfall, but because truth has a way of returning to its source. The sickness they hid so carefully, the bitterness they wrapped in silence, the envy they disguised as indifference, it all begins to speak louder when the light of your destiny grows brighter. They are haunted not by you, but by the truth of who you are. They are unsettled not because you fought back, but because you didn't have to. They are weakened not because you struck them, but because your resilience revealed the emptiness inside them. And now, in the quiet corners of their own solitude, they feel the consequences of every intention they thought would remain hidden. You did not wish for this, but truth answers intentions, not appearances. Still, you move forward. You move with a heart that refuses to harden, even when hardness would have been the easiest choice. You move with a softness that confuses those who mistake kindness for weakness. You move with a patience that unsettles those who rush to destroy what they cannot understand. And in this movement, you reclaim everything they tried to take from you. Your confidence, your joy, your certainty, your peace. With each step, you gather the scattered pieces of yourself, and something extraordinary happens. You become whole in ways you never were before. The attacks may have bruised you, but they did not break you. The secrecy may have stung, but it did not silence you. The sickness aimed at you never reached you, because what is carried by envy can never pierce what is protected by destiny. You are stepping into a deeper strength now, a strength that no longer needs to explain itself or defend itself or justify its existence. You are learning that the most powerful rise is the one that happens naturally, without force, without noise, without the need to prove anything to anyone. Your rise is a quiet unfolding, a gentle blooming, a steady ascent. It is the kind of rise that happens when a soul begins to trust itself fully, unapologetically, without hesitation. And this rise, chosen one, is the very thing their sickness cannot withstand. They crumble beneath the weight of their own intentions because they were never rooted in truth. But you rise because you were rooted in something eternal. And as you journey upward, you will begin to notice how different the air feels. It is clearer here, freer, lighter. You are no longer carrying the heaviness of people you were never meant to heal. You are no longer bending under the expectations of those who misunderstood your heart. You are no longer stretching yourself thin for those who could not see your value. You have outgrown the spaces where their shadows lingered. You have stepped beyond the reach of their whispers. You have crossed into a level of peace where their sickness simply cannot survive. It is not revenge, it is separation by elevation. Your elevation is not loud, it does not need to be. It is the kind of elevation that reveals itself slowly, naturally, with the passing of time. It is seen in the way you speak differently now, more certain, more grounded, more whole. It is seen in the way you carry yourself, with a quiet dignity that no secret attacker can diminish. It is seen in the decisions you make, with wisdom shaped by experience, not by fear. The very energy of your life is changing, transforming, blooming. And while you rise into this newness, the universe begins to align opportunities that fit the strength you have gained. Doors open not because you forced them, but because you became the version of yourself who was always meant to walk through them. And as these doors open, those who secretly opposed you will feel the shift. They will sense, even from a distance, that something in your life is expanding. They will watch as blessings gather around you like a chorus of affirming light. They will see your name being carried into places they never imagined for you. They will hear whispers of the success they once tried to sabotage. And this knowing, this witnessing, becomes a mirror for them, a mirror they cannot escape. For the truth of their sickness becomes undeniable when held up to the radiance of your rise. But you, chosen one, must keep your heart free. Do not allow their struggle to become your focus. Do not allow their downfall to become your satisfaction. Do not allow their revelation to become your distraction. Your purpose is too vast, your calling too sacred, your future too expansive to be tangled in thoughts of those who attacked you in secret. Keep walking, keep breathing, keep expanding. Your journey is upward, always upward. Every lesson, every tear, every quiet moment of endurance has prepared you for the horizon ahead. And what a horizon it is! There are breakthroughs waiting for you that will make every hidden attack seem small and distant. There are divine alignments forming that will remind you that nothing was ever taken from you, only delayed until you were strong enough to receive it. There are blessings approaching that will pull healing through every place you once felt wounded. There are seasons ahead where your joy will stretch so wide that even the memory of pain will bow beneath its brilliance. Chosen one, your story is still unfolding, and it is unfolding beautifully. You are living proof that no hidden sickness can destroy what is divinely protected. You are proof that resilience grows in silence. You are proof that light always rises even when surrounded by shadows. So keep rising slowly, steadily, gracefully. Keep rising into the fullness of who you are. Keep rising into the destiny that was written long before any attack was formed. Keep rising, for nothing hidden, nothing sick, nothing broken can hold back a soul chosen to shine.